Hey Gemini, Debbie Dubois here. Welcome to my channel, True Sacred Union. It is time for your July reading. So, I am interested to find out how your June went. It was crazy. I mean, I know that I kept doing a lot of clearing and I was extremely tired. Not sure why. Maybe I did change my eating and maybe that has something to do with it, but I know a lot of other people were having some of that same, you know, tiredness, like wanting to sleep a lot. So anyways, as I'm shuffling, it just take me a second here. I do want to mention that I am going to be in Niagara Falls on September 27th, 28th, and 29th at a Twin Flame and Ascension conference being held in Niagara Falls with Marla Kelly. And the other facilitators are going to be Kalina Malnar and Robin Angie from Twinfinity. So if you know any of those guys or you'd like to come down and see us, it might be a great opportunity. I'm actually from Rochester, so that's only about an hour away from there. Is definitely my old stomping grounds. I'm really looking forward to it. So if you feel called, please join us. We'd love to have you. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at what is the overall energy for the month of July for my Gemini friends. And I happen to be, I have an ascendant with Gemini, so this should be very interesting. I know a lot of Gemini, so let's see what happens. All right. So the first card that we get is the Mortar and Pestle, which I absolutely love this card. And I'm getting it a lot, which doesn't surprise me. And we're also getting the Fox. This is the main card of this particular spread. So this is the energy. And then we are getting the Magnifying Glass. Okay, so let's tune into this energy. Okay, so we're going to be dealing with some somewhat tricky energy, the energy of the Fox. Now this, I guess it depends, you'll know for you whether or not this is related to love or whether it's related to career or maybe a little bit of both. But the general energies say that you may be dealing with someone who's being a little bit insincere, or has a little bit too much self-interest at heart. So you may feel that this person is being a little bit crafty or underneath the surface, not really showing up in their full self. Now, conversely, that may be you. It depends. I mean, it depends on where we're at and how we feel about ourselves as to what we do. All right. So, but what I want to say is look at the energy right next to this Fox is the Mortar and Pestle. And this is where I would focus my attention because what the Mortar and Pestle is about is alchemy. So it's taking yourself or this other person that you're, dealing with from this position of being, a little bit stealthy, a little bit under the radar, a little bit, being a little crafty like a fox, whether that's you or another person, this Mortar and Pestle is guaranteeing that you're in the process of alchemizing something here, breaking that down and creating something new, which is wonderful. And that is done through a lot of careful examination of what's going on, what's actually going on. And the reason why I look at, the magnifying glass here is more about examining facts and figures and examining things closely, taking a real look at details. So you're going to be using this energy when it comes to dealing with this, with this insincerity that you've got going on here. The other thing the Fox is also about is routine work. So it could very well mean that you're in the process of doing something that is very routine in that, like if you think about research, okay, if you're doing research and you're digging, it can be very routine. It can be very, okay, I'm looking up another thing. Okay, I'm looking up another thing. So this is another way to look at this energy. For those of you that resonate with that message. I think the most important thing is the pairing between the Mortar and the Pestle and the Magnifying Glass. is that in order to alchemize something or break something down or create something new out of it, it does seem that you're going to need to get more information about it. You're going to need to dig deeper. You're going to need to get out that magnifying glass, look at the fine print, look at the details, and find out, what will make this situation work. All right, so this is the overall energies. And I'm going to go ahead, and easier for me to just spread these cards out over here so that I can get them and still have room to show you the cards that I'm pulling for you. Okay, so let's look very specifically at your love life. All right, we're going to pull a couple of cards here, I should say a few cards here that have to do specifically with your love life. The first card is the Archer, which is interesting. I just got that card the last reading I did. Oh, we got the Balance. I always like that. And the Clover. All right, so from a love standpoint, we got a lot of really good energies here. I always like seeing the balance because what this means is that you are either aiming for or have attained a certain self-awareness and a centered balancedness. Okay. And that means that you feel like you're in your equilibrium. So you're feeling maybe a good balance between the feminine and masculine energies. You are feeling complete and whole in and of yourself, which is great because when it comes to relationships, there is no better, I want to say, fuel for a connection than to be in this place. Because when you're in this place, you do tend to attract like energy. You do tend to create a reality where you see things as being more centered and balanced. And just pairing that immediately with the Clover, you can see that really creates a great positive energy. We're looking at flirting, having secret rendezvous or a little fling or having the energy of that. Not necessarily that you're having a fling, but even if it's your sacred partner, it means you're in that romantic, happy-go-lucky energy of the Clover because you're centered. And that is so very important. Because we've got this energy, I would tend to think that this Fox energy is probably coming more from familial or from maybe work. If you're in a very, I want to say a job that isn't your calling or creative expression. Sometimes when we're in that, we're more likely to, I want to say, be involved with people that are not our absolute like vibration. So since the love aspect of your reading is giving me the center and balance, giving you, I should say, and the Clover, I would say that we're looking more at a different area of your life. Now, not necessarily. Some of you might actually have that going on. So, this is a general reading. Take what resonates and you'll know what your situation is. Pairing this centered with the Archer, okay? I want to say what jumps out at me is my, the go-to guy or gal, okay? In this centered energy and this equality, this balanced energy, I feel very strongly that you might have that presence of that go-to guy or gal around. That go-to guy or gal might be actually this happy-go-lucky energy, the flirting, the really carefree kind of energy. And the Archer shows up to show you that you're really on target with that. By staying in this centered and balanced energy, you're always going to create better outcomes, better reality. So that's where I would focus, is continue to focus on that centered and balance. All right, now we're going to take a look specifically at creative expression. I'm interested to see if it supports, the Fox energy or not. I guess it will depend on who's watching and who needs what information. All right, so the first card is the Falcon. And the second card is the Clock. And the third card is the Birds. All right, so give me just a second. As we look at these cards, I use the Intuit Oracle by Aria. It's with the bonus trio because it mixes in a bunch of different types of cards. But the main cards are Lenormand-like. and not being big schooled in Lenormand. What I do like about this is that you don't need to do a lot of memorization, but I am reading cards in pairs. This is my main card for this. So from a creative standpoint, we are looking at perfect timing for whatever it is that you're trying to do, which is great. Now, whatever it is you're trying to do is the actual what you're really trying to achieve over the lifetime, which I would say is probably your divine calling. Okay, so that's the focus right now, and you are in the perfect timing for that. We do have the Falcon, which means the higher self is engaged. You are seeing from that third eye perspective, which is your higher perspective. And there's a great deal of skill that you have brought in to do this. So that is fantastic. Let me see. Okay. We also have here, it does sound like you are, from a work standpoint, communicating about this with other people who are in line with what you're trying to achieve. In other words, there seems to be a lot around your creative expression. There does seem to be a lot of collaboration outside yourself, which is having to do with communications, whether you're texting, whether you're talking on the phone, whether you're emailing. The chatter of birds is lots of conversations going on right now. So I'm not really sure how that relates to the fox energy. I tend to think that maybe there is just something going on in the overall, it could be family, it could be something else completely outside of your family just keeps coming to me. We've got someone that's, like interested in their own thing. They're deceitful. Yeah. So, when I look at what's going on from abundance career standpoint, it's like the mortar and pestle comes into this because you're trying to make something new. And you're doing that through this communication, through this connection, collaboration, constant talking back and forth and learning from each other kind of thing. The higher self is definitely engaged in that. So you've got a lot of support. And, again, this is the higher purpose card. The Falcon is the higher purpose card. And this is longevity. This, whatever it is you're working on and you're in the perfect timing, this is from the past. So you're bringing forth something you've been trying to achieve for, it could be lifetimes, saying lifetimes. And you're eventually going to make that happen. So, all right. So that's a little bit about what's going on with the career. Finally, let's take a look at what your higher self wants you to know this month. Okay? Oh my gosh. This is the second grasshopper that I have gotten I've done 3 readings today. In this position, what does Source want you to know? What does your higher self want you to know? This is the second time I've gotten the grasshopper right in this particular position. Ooh, and here we go, networking. There's that communication. And we got the garden. Okay, very cool. All right, so it does seem that from an overall perspective, your higher self wants you to know that right now is the time where you're going to be focusing on this collaboration to make this creative expression come true. And I say that because we're looking at the central energy on this particular portion of the reading is Milky Way, which has to do with networking. It has to do with social media. It has to do with publicity, with fame even, internet, all of those kinds of things. And we are pairing that with the grasshopper, which is a lot of luck. And it takes a leap of faith sometimes to move in this direction, but it's a very lucky card. And it gives you a lot of support in this social media kind of, again, I want to line it right up here with this is what I was seeing, is collaboration, chatting with someone, talking with someone, phone calls, emails, back and forth, negotiating, let's do this, let's do that. That is very much promotion oriented, I want to say, something that you're trying to do. And if you put that together with the garden card is about crowds, audiences. I'm chilling on this. a community. So whatever you're doing may have very much to do with social media and your community of peeps that you're doing things with. I would definitely say that this is a month that is more career oriented for you or creative expression oriented for you. I do think that the Fox card is probably some energy in the family, or it could be in your community, this energy you're having to deal with, but you're having to deal with it because it is a reflection of something inside. And that's always the way it is. And that maybe is what the magnifying glass is signifying. Go in and find out where these characteristics, the foxy characteristics, are inside you. We're always creating our reality based on either what we don't want to own of our own and we project outward, or it's something we judge against and we need to go in and find out, why do we judge against it? Is there some way we can not judge against it so we don't create it in our reality? So I do believe that that's some of the energy that's going to be going on for you for the month. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pull an Ascended Masters card and see if any more information is tied together in this reading for you. I love the Ascended Master cards because they're just so like overarching. It's a very overarching energy. So I kind of like to think it's not really the outcome, but what is the wisdom? The wisdom of the evolved souls. That one just jumped and I'm going to take it. All right. That one jumped. So I'm going to take it. And let's make room for it here. So we can just sort of tie all of this together. Okay. And we got meditate. That's Buddha. Okay. Well, it's Siddhartha Gautama, and I'm not really good at this one. Sorry. Buddha. All right. So let's see what the message is coming through. Obviously, the meditate card is the center and balanced. Where do we get center and balance? We get it through meditation, or we get it through being in a meditative state, which means we stay in the present moment and we aren't so much in our thoughts. Okay, so you're kind of being shown that to stay in this centered energy is not just helpful for you from a relationship standpoint, but also in an overall creative expression. You've got a lot of creative expression in your reading right now, and staying in the moment of now can be extremely helpful, because what happens is that you end up in, look at this, you got 2 luck cards. You end up in a lucky position. It seems lucky, but what it is you're aligned with that which you prefer. That's all luck is. You are aligned with what you prefer, and you have that energy backing you up. The more you go into this meditative state, the more, and I say meditative state, it's walking the talk, all right? It is step by step, moving in the direction of creating the reality you prefer. Now, there's going to be some energy that is, deeply in this reading, that fox energy. But what's a better way to actually get the answers that you're looking for, to get the information that you need, than to go into meditation and dig in and find out, what is this about? All right. Now, we're looking at a very big presence of the higher self at this point. Well, guess what? That comes in through that meditative stay in the moment of now state. All right. And listen, the flow of all of this promotion, all of the networking, the chatter, the communicating, the talking, the breaking something down, making something new out of what you have, comes from being centered and balanced in a meditative moment of now space. So Source is basically saying that if you can drop the thoughts and the stories while you're going through your everyday work, relationships, you are going to have so much more alignment with what you prefer, and that is called luck. Okay? All right, I'm going to leave it there. It's a very powerful reading, very powerful messages. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. No, I don't think so. But I'd like to ask you, if you resonated with this reading, please take a moment to like the YouTube video, go ahead and share it with your friends. And if you want more readings like this through your feed, go ahead and subscribe. Become a part of my Soul Tribe family on YouTube, and press the bell if you want to see more, because then you'll make sure that you don't miss a thing. All right? I guess that's it. I want to say thank you so much. I do have weekly readings in case you're interested, and I've got some more work coming down the pipe. So if you resonate with the messages here, I would love to have you as a subscriber, a part of my subscriber family. Okay, well listen, have a great day. Namaste.